Hello everyone, welcome back. In the previous classes, I have we have learned the REST web service consumer. We are consuming the REST web service with the help of HTTP request connector. Now in this class, we are going to see how we can consume the SOAP web service, because there are two popular web service. First is the SOAP web service and other is the REST web service, and we have seen how we can consume the REST web service and how we can create the REST web service. In this lecture, I am going to see how we can consume the SOAP web service. So let's move to the our AnyPoint Studio. If you see, this is the flow that I have created in the previous classes for the REST web service. Now I am going to create another flow for the SOAP web service. So let's create the flow for the SOAP. Again, go to the src main and just click here and just click on the mule configuration file and give the file name as a SOAP as consumer and just click on finish. Let's use here the HTTP listener that we are going to hit using this postman. After that, let's use there is a connector called web service consumer. Okay, there if you search by the SOAP, you will not get any. So we will got the SOAP hold, we got the SOAP router and invoke apex SOAP method. We will not get any connector that is linked with the SOAP as a consumer. Okay, if you want to use SOAP as a consumer, we have the connector called the under the SOAP service consumer. We have the consume. Just click and drag drop here. Okay, now let's try to configure this both connector. Again, we are not going to configure global properties in here. We are going to do everything in the global.xml. So let's go to the global.xml and just click on create and click on the listener configuration and just keep the listener configuration. Previously we have used the 8081 and 8082. Let's give this time 8083 and let's give the base path as the /flow. Okay, click on test connection. Now connection is successful and click on OK. Now let's go to the SOAP as a consumer flow. Let's drop it. You can see, you are going to see the new configuration that we have created and give here the path that we want to keep. Let's give here the path as a v3 and the my flow. Okay, I am keeping name this as a for my benefits because I don't need to create again this URL. I am just modifying this URL with v1 v2 v3 and just trying to do that. Okay, you can use anything that here. Okay, that's not a problem. Now let's go to the consume. In consume, what we need to provide, let's understand the thing. First we need to create the configuration, connector configuration. If you click on connector configuration, okay, where we need to provide the WSDL and which service you want to invoke and what is the port number. These three things you need to provide if you want to consume any web service. Of course, if you know, if you want to create any web service with as a SOAP, we need the WSDL. We need the WSDL if you want to create any web service. But here we are not creating any web service, we are just consuming the web service. The problem is that MuleSoft is not providing a feature to create a web service, to create a WSDL. So I am not going to show how to create the WSDL. There are lots of tool available over the internet. You can use that tool to create a visual. Or if you have any some tool like that, IIB or ACE, then you can use the to create a visual. But for now, I don't have any tool, so I am going to use some standard visual from the internet. Okay. So it is like that. Let me explain more thing to you. It is like that. If you want to create a soap as a service, then we need the visual. And visual, everything is mentioned that what should be the service. Let me take a visual. Let's go to the Google. If you go to the Google and let me go. If you go to the Google and just type here like that, soap UI, soap visual online. Okay. Visual example. Let's type example. The problem is that I try to get lots of visual, but the problem is that the visual, these all the website that are providing, these are the visual not working. I tried the visual, they are with the other website that is not working. So I am using the standard that provided by the SoapUI. If you go to this SoapUI, that is the this tool. SoapUI, let me explain what a SoapUI. SoapUI is a tool to test the SOAP web service. It is similar to the Postman. In the Postman, it is especially made for the testing the REST web service, but SoapUI especially made for the testing the SOAP web service. But here it has a feature to test also as a REST web service. So with the help of SoapUI, we can test the REST web service and we can test the SOAP web service. But with the help of Postman, we can test the only REST web service. That's the reason we used to mainly use the Postman, because especially if you want to test the REST web service, this makes the interface easy and work easy. Okay, that's the reason we used to do the, and especially if you want to test the post, then we used to do the SoapUI. So I am going to show you everything how basically. Let's go to the Google and let's try to take the URL. There is a visual provided by the SoapUI. Let me see where it is. Okay. Okay, this is the link. Okay. Let me hit this into the Google. If you hit with this Google, it will give you the visual for you. Okay. This is the visual that provided by SoapUI, and it is working fine. Okay. The rest of the visual I take over the internet and try to hit this. They are not working fine. So I am going to show this visual in this class. Okay, so let me copy this visual. Let me copy this visual, and this is actually not in example format, so I will, you can modify with the XML formatter to, if you write here the online XML formatter, you can format into the XML with the online XML formatter. Just you can go below and just click on here. Just click on here. Just give the XML and just click on format XML. It will give you the formatted XML, and you can copy this and keep into Notepad. But I already kept the into my Notepad. You can see I have already kept into my Notepad. Okay. So this is the video I am going to do, and if you let me explain about the some visual. If you want to create any SOAP web service, then visual is the first step to create. Okay, and if you see here what I am doing, I am using a operation called add. to add the two number we are using, and we are in response we are getting some add result. In the add operation we are using a int a and int b as a two number, and we are adding these two number and getting a response as a add result. Similarly for the subtract we are using two number int a and int b, and we are getting response as a subtract result. Okay, and in the multiply again we are using the int a and int b and getting a response as a multiply result. Again in divide we are using a int a and int b and getting as a divide result. After that if you go below, this is called the port, that this is the port number that we are using. You calculator that swap, and if you go below, this is something the address of this location that I used web service, and this is the service name is the calculator is the service name. I already shown you these are the thing we are going to use, the service name and these all thing. So service name, you can see the calculator was the service name, and the soap something was the port number, and WSDL is this is the WSDL I'm going to use. Okay, so this WSDL is used to add, subtract, multiply and divide two number and give the result. Okay, to use this WSDL, it is best to keep the WSDL inside the src main resource, because this is the folder. If you keep anything inside this folder, you can directly use into this flows. So let's keep this WSDL into this src main resource. For that, let's create a folder with name WSDL, and let's click on finish. Under WSDL, let's keep the file WSDL file. So let's keep the file WSDL file. So let's give it a calculator. This is for the like a calculator. So let me write calculator and dot WSDL. For WSDL file, the extension is dot WSDL. Okay, just click on finish. Now in this area, just what we have to do, just copy this XML WSDL XML and just paste it here. Let's click on save. Now I have kept this WSDL into the src main resource, and now I can use this WSDL in this soap consume node. So let's go to the soap consume node, and if you click on plus, it will automatically came here. If you do here, automatically came here. But again, I am using the global.xml, so I am not going to use. I am not going to create here, but because if I create here, it will came here. I don't want to keep anything here. So let's create in the global. Go here and just click on here and just click on the web service consume configuration. Okay. If you click on OK, this will came here. Just select the WSDL. You can see it is the src main resource WSDL. This is coming. Just click on OK. Once you click on OK, this service and port will be automatically populated. You can see calculator automatically populated, and the port you have to select. There are two ports, that is SOAP, calculator SOAP and the calculator SOAP 12. Which port you want to use, that you can choose. I want to use the calculator, the SOAP. Just click on OK. Now I have configured in the global property inside the global.xml. Now I can use this property inside this consume. Now if you click on drop down, you can see this web service consume configuration automatically came. Just click on save. Which operation you want to do, it has the 4 operation. If you want to add two number, divide two number, multiply two number, subtract two number, which operation you want to perform, you can choose here. First let's try with the add. And what is the thing we are going to inject? We are going to inject the payload. This thing, let's keep it. Before that, let me explain one more thing to you. If you have earlier worked with the SOAP web service, there is a problem with the SOAP web service. It do not accept the normal message. If we send a normal message like this JSON, it will not accept. Or if we especially keep in mind, SOAP web service is used for the XML message. So we are going to inject the XML message here. But the problem is that if I am going to send a normal message here, it is not going to take it, because this needs some special type of format of message. Then how we need to design a request for this, and we need to design the response for this. That is the one thing I need to do. Let me try to show you how the request will look for this. Go to the SOAP, click on the SOAP, new SOAP project, give here any name. Let me write here a calculator. Okay, and here you can choose the WSDL. Let's, instead of choosing that folder, let me try to copy this file that where I have kept the WSDL. This is the where I have kept the calculator.WSDL file. This is the file, same file that I have. Okay, let's go to here and click on this browse. Click on browse. In file name, give the folder. You can see all file came here. Just select the calculator.WSDL. Click on open. Click on OK. Now you can see automatically these two ports have been given. The first port is the calculator.SOAP and the second port is the calculator.SOAP port. In this lecture, I am using the calculator.SOAP. So let's minimize this. We have the 4 operation. That first operation is the add. We are adding two number. If you see, I am sending int A and int B in the request. If we go in divide, again same format, we are sending int A and B. If you go multiply, in the same format, you can see I am sending. Okay, and if you see in the subtract, in the same format I am sending in subtract also. Okay, so I am sending two numbers. First number is int A and second number is int B, to add, subtract and divide and multiply the numbers. And this consume web service, the consume whatever the web service I have configured here, this in the WSDL, this will accept only the message in this format. Any format message if you are sending except this, it is not going to accept, and it is going to fail. The main challenge we have, we need to configure a message in this format before injecting to this consume node. For that, let's use the transform message. With the help of transform message, what we are going to do, we are going to inject a request in this format. Our first job is to make a request in this format so that we can inject it into the consume successfully. Okay, so let's make it. But one benefit if you are using the consume, you can see it is expecting two things, int A and int B in this here, you can see. And if you see here, let me show you, if I maximize the thing under the XML, let me make the format. It is expecting in the XML, so let me make it as XML and click on save. Okay, int A and int B is automatically populated here. Int A and int B automatically populated here. That is expected. Okay, okay, and because in WSDL I have injected the WSDL, and whatever the output they are whatever the input they are expecting, it will populate automatically here, and whatever the response it is going to give, if you make a one more transform node here, it will automatically, you can see, populated here, add result thing. So whatever the input they are expecting, it will populate in the output, and whatever the response they are going to send, it will populate into the input. Now it is your job to inject, to add here the payload and inject here, so that it will give a request into this format, and it will get a response. If you are talking about the response, how it response is going to look, just click on the right click on and click on add mocking service, and if you click on yes and give name any, and you can see, and just click on yes, you can see in this format they are expecting the response. The response will be in this format. Later I am going to not I'm while the postman I'm going to use in the JSON, so that I will configure later, so don't need to worry about that. Let's try to configure this. We have one option. You know, we are sending the message in, let me take different. Okay, not this one, this is the one. Okay, okay, I am sending in this format. Okay, I am sending the first message, I am sending the second number, and we are expecting the result as a 50 plus 20 70. Okay, and this I am sending in the body, so it is going to be in the payload in the HTTP request, and this payload will be came here in the metadata. So we have one option to directly select the from here metadata and map to the one to one. Other thing we can do here, we can directly map to like that, we can map like that, and we in here we can write like that. In the int a we can write like that payload dot, and the value that we are going to say send in the request in the body. I can write here dot first number. Similarly I can write here the payload dot second number, that is this one, and add a comma between them. Now that is done. So what I am doing, I am whatever the value coming from the payload, whatever we are going to inject in the body, it is going to be in, it is going to be a payload in the listener. And if you want to fetch a field from the payload, I am fetching the first number from the payload, and this first number I am assigning into int a. Again I am fetching the second number from the payload and I am assigning int b, and we are going to inject this to the this consumer, and this consumer is going to do one thing. This consumer is going to take this value int a and int b, and int a equivalent to the first number, that is going to 50, and int b is equivalent to the second number, that is 20. This consume is going to take a these two number 50 and 20, and it is going to add these two number, and with the help of this WSDL, and it is going to add to number, and it is going to give a response in this format, add response format. Okay, add result format. Now here again we have to do, we can do define metadata, and we can select the output in what format I am expecting output in this format, output of calculator, and I can do metadata. Let's not do metadata, define metadata. Let's directly write here. What I can write here, if you see here, I am expecting this value in output, add result. I am expecting this value in output. So this value is inside the, if you go here inside the payload we have the body, in that body we have the add response, in add response we have the add result, and this add result I am expecting in the output. So let's first, in which format you want expecting I2, let's give here I want to expect in the JSON format, first thing. Second thing, what is the field name that you are going to, I am going to output of calculator as a field name. So let's give the output as a calculator. Let me do like that. Okay, output of calculator, and let's give here as a, I want under the payload. If you see, let me, under payload we have the body. Let's select the body. Under body we have, if you see, we have add response. So let's select the add response. Under add response we have add number. So let's select the add number, add result. That is all. Just click on save. Now I have configured everything correctly. Everything is fine. Now I have created a request and I have created a response, and this response I am going to get in the this here. Okay, let's see what wrong is happening. It is coming like that. Okay, that is fine. That's not a problem. Okay, so what I did, let me quickly summarize this. I am sending this request from the postman. It will coming as a listener in the payload. This payload I am injecting to this web service, but it is expecting in a particular format, this format. So we need to customize this payload. We are using the transform message to customize the payload. So what I am going to do, I am going to in the int a, I am going to inject the value from the payload, that first number, and in the int b I am going to inject the second number, that is from the payload, and I am going to give this to number to consume web service, so that it will hit this, it will hit the show web service and give the result, and it is the giving the result as a add response, as a add result, and this add result I am trying to give the output as a output of calculator, and I am printing the result here. Okay, so that is all configuration wise, everything done. Let's try to deploy this application and see what result is coming. Let me add a breakpoint here, and let's wait for application to be deployed. Once it is deployed, we are going to test this web service. If you go to listener, you can see this time we are using the v3 and the port is the 8083. The same thing I am going to use. Okay, let's wait. Still it is deploying. It takes time to deploy. Once it will be deployed, then I am going to hit this web service. Now you can see it is deployed, application name, and it is deployed. Okay, now let's try to hit the flow. Go to the postman and just click on send. Okay, now go to here, you can see it came here, and here if you see in the payload, it is coming the first number and second number. From this payload we are going to inject the value to int a and int b. So let me go to this here. Here if you can see, I have injected the value into int a and int b. If you go to the consume, and if you go here, I am injecting value into int a and b. Okay, there will be some field where it is showing. Let's move forward. Okay, and it has been, now my web service has been run, sub web service has been run, and now it's time to provide the response. If I click here, you are going to response. You can see it is coming as 70. Let's try to calculate the more big number. Let's use this time some this number and some this number. Okay, and let's try to seed the flow. Okay, I send it and let's try to move forward. Okay, it came here. Let's see the result. You can see it is calculating perfectly. Okay, this way we can add these two number. Again we can try with the other operation. If you want to do the other operation like that, if you want to multiply two numbers, we can select the multiply and click on save. It will deploy. Again we can multiply the two number and we can get the result. Okay, so let's wait till it is deployed. Still deploying, it is 70%. Okay, once it is deployed, then we can test the application. We are going to send these two number. I'm going to try with some small number like 10 multiply by 10 and let's see what is coming. Again I am going to try with the big number. Okay, now it is deployed. Let's hit the flow. Okay, flow heated. Now it came here. Move forward. I am injecting int a. After that I am preparing the response. Let's see. Okay, it is coming null. Reason is that here I need to again configure the thing. If you go here in the transfer message, and here it is not configured. Okay, so I need to do here and I need to do here. Okay, so this thing I again for each of the node I need to do. So I have not done here. So let me again inject this here and let me make here, and let me similarly you need to do for the other operations like that, subtract and divide. This thing you need to keep in the mind. So I have not here done here, so I need to do here. Okay, similarly for the multiply I need to do also. So let me do for the multiply. Let me do for the multiply. Okay, just 1 minute. Okay, here again let's do like that. Let me keep here like that, and let's do like that, and let me keep here, and let's add this comma, and let add other operation here. And here I want the output of a calculator is same, but here I want different thing. I want that payload. Okay, let's move payload dot okay, let me do one thing that is a problem. Okay, let's do one thing. It came here and here. Let's go to the payload. In the payload, let's do, we have the body, under body we have the multiply response. So let's do similarly you can define the data. That's not a okay. Let me make, okay, this is coming here. Let me try to first modify it and I will back to you. Okay, so now the problem was happening was like that we cannot send two request at a consume node. It is getting confused. So you need to send the one request. So if that will be a problem, then you need to create some subflow to make this web service call. For now, what I did, I am making for the multiply. I made a transform, make a change in the transform message to multiply, and again same thing. I am trying to give the output and this add message, add result, and let's try to. I have already deployed the message flow. Let's try to hit the flow. Let's try to first 10 and 10 multiplication. You can see it is coming as a 100. Let's try to do 100 and 100, and let's see what is coming. Now you can see it is coming 1000. Let's try to do 1000 and 1000. Now it is coming, you can see. Let's try to do some bigger number calculation. Let's try to do some random number, this and okay, this. Let's try to calculate it. Okay, this range actually not covered in this WSDL. That is not my fault. This is the fault of the WSDL creator. So let's try to do some small calculation. Okay, might be they have kept a very small range. Let's try to keep a small range. I'm not aware of the what is the range of WSDL. Okay, this number till the 3 number it is coming fine. Let's try with the 4 number. This is the WSDL random I have taken from the internet. Okay, till the 4 number it is also working fine. Let's try with the 5 number. Till here you can it is also working fine. Let's try also 1 here. Okay, till here it is working fine. If you multiplying with any 5 digit with the 4 digit, it is working fine. And after that, if you are adding any number, it will creating problem. You can see the output. If you multiply this and this, you will get an output. Similarly, if you want, you can implement the operation for the subtract and divide. Okay, that is all about the consume as a. This is all about the SOAP web service as a consumer. Here we are injecting the payload from the HTTP listener, and this listener is coming here. With the help of transform message node, we are preparing a request like this, and we are injecting this to the this consume connector, so that our SOAP web service, that is this WSDL, that will consume the web service, and it will give the result either add, subtract, multiply, divide. And further we are using transform message so that we can print this response over this console of the postman as a response. That is all about the SOAP web service as a consumer. I hope you have enjoyed. Again, if you have any doubt, you can contact me. Thanks for watching the video. If you have not subscribed my channel, please subscribe it.